to cut off supply arteries before enemy equipment even reaches the front line. The warriors of the Strij Unmanned Systems Battalion, which fights as part of the renowned Edelweiss unit, have raised the bar of warfare to a new level. In just 1 month, with the help of powerful heavy drones, they destroyed more than 25 pieces of enemy equipment, striking dozens of kilometers deep. Vasil Bamchuk reports on unique technology, remote operations, and the daily hunt for Russian artillery and trucks.
A total of 2 cannons were completely wiped out in a period of 2.5 hours.
The deep rear of the occupiers, where they were used to feeling safe, is turning into a complete kill zone. Ukrainian drones fly 50 kilometers beyond the front line. Where the enemy does not expect a strike, their logistics are simply burned out. This is how the Strij unit of the 10th Separate Mountain Assault Brigade, Edelweiss, operates.
In just 1 single month, we successfully eliminated and destroyed more than 25 vehicles, heavy artillery cannons, and a significant number of various enemy MLRs. All of their different means of transportation, including quad bikes, motorcycles, and buggies, every single piece of equipment they had was completely destroyed within that 1 month.
The main feature of the drones used by the unit is their absolute resistance to enemy jamming. Russian electronic warfare, which usually suppresses standard FPV drones, turns out to be powerless here. Moreover, they are capable of climbing to an altitude of up to 700 meters, bypassing dangerous areas and delivering a serious greeting to the occupiers.
Now, the FPV is in the air on a free hunt. We have identified the target. We're moving in for the strike now. Just now, a hostile enemy truck was successfully neutralized at an impressive distance of exactly 33 kilometers.
This is exactly what modern warfare looks like. The operator can be hundreds of kilometers away from the front line, literally anywhere, and from the moment a target is detected to the drone's launch on the mission, it takes only 5 minutes.
This is the workstation we use to operate. We work a bit remotely, and this could be from Kiev or any point in Ukraine. The drones are already prepared, only the people at the position are waiting for the command. Within 5 minutes, the drone takes off and strikes the target.
Currently, the Striji carry out about 10 sorties per day, of which 8 are completely effective. However, to completely paralyze the occupiers' supply lines in this section of the front, the operation needs to be scaled up.
The enemy also fires very effectively at the drones with small arms, and, well, some drones do get shot down. If there were more positions, a few more resources, we could disrupt their logistics so much that they wouldn't just be afraid to walk around, they'd be scared to even step outside.
The main goal of the fighters is not just to scare the enemy, but to inflict maximum damage on them. Every sortie is a precise strike against their logistics or weaponry that will never again fire at Ukrainian positions.
Over the course of a day, you can easily destroy 2 or 3 vehicles. You can fly into the rear and take out an artillery piece. That's a very serious blow to the enemy.
What were once safe rear routes for the occupiers have now turned into a real survival lottery because the Strij unit's hunt goes on 24/7. Vasil Mamchuk, We Are Ukraine, United News Marathon.
To strike the enemy just as accurately on the front line, the fighters spend hours honing their skills between combat missions.
You constantly need to remind and repeat everything so that everyone remembers. That is, the training is conducted as a reminder so that, well, there are no incidents at work later.
And combat work begins with preparing the aircraft. The main rule, the soldiers say, is quite simple. Every pilot must be able to service and prepare their Vampire for departure on their own.
The pilot's duty, the objective is to thoroughly inspect the aircraft before embarking on combat missions, ensuring there are no unexpected complications or situations.
Already at the training ground, explosives are being assembled for the Vampire. Today, the platoon commander Samson is acting as the sapper.
The main thing here is not to rush, to be careful so that there are no accidents, so it doesn't detonate on us. The most important thing is not to get distracted, do your job and not rush. That's the key. That's it, this munition is now ready. It is attached to the aircraft and then the safety pins are removed.
And it's the commander of the Desna company who attaches the shell to the heavy bomber.
We take two shells. One is used for calibration, and the other, as you can see, is a bit bigger for better impact.
At the control panel, the soldier with the call sign white says, these exercises are practically no different from real work, but in combat positions it's psychologically much harder.
It's a responsibility, first and foremost, for, well, the fact that you're helping our guys who are directly on the front line. There, everything is for real.
According to the scenario, the vampire takes off to hunt Russian infantrymen. When the soldiers locate the enemy shelter, they drop a smaller shell first to aim. And then a large bomb flies toward the enemy, one that can completely destroy the occupier's shelter. In the same precise manner, over the past month, this company of the 115th Brigade has eliminated more than 50 occupiers, destroyed about a dozen shelters, and taken out 2 pieces of Russian equipment.
The enemy came into my home, so I have to defend this home to keep them from advancing further.
And the soldiers continue to hold the defense in the Borivsky direction. Right now, this is one of the hottest and most dangerous areas in the Kharkiv region. From Kharkiv region, Irina Antoniuk, Oleksiy Juchkov, We Are Ukraine, Marathon, United News.
There were 226 combat engagements on the front line over the past day. This was reported by the General Staff. The situation remains tense in the Pokrovsk direction. There, the enemy attacked Ukrainian positions 22 times. Ukrainian defenders repelled enemy assaults near Kotlin, Udachne, Novomykolaivka, as well as Novoyi and Shakov.
Well, regarding the settlements towards which assault actions were carried out, you already mentioned them at the beginning of the broadcast, and in total, 22 attempts were recorded over the past day. During these attempts, the occupiers lost 33 people killed, if they can even be called people, of course, and 15 wounded. They continue to try to advance in small groups, infiltrating through our combat lines and gathering in forest belts under the cover of green foliage, which right now, well, very densely covers all the tree lines and makes aerial reconnaissance much, much more difficult. That's why aerial reconnaissance teams are doing a tremendous amount of work to detect and identify enemy targets so that we can then destroy them. Also, the enemy is very actively using all types of unmanned aerial vehicles, from quadcopters, from FPVs, which they use to attack our forward positions and also fly into the rear, and of course fixed-wing UAVs, both reconnaissance and strike types like the Molniya. Just one brigade Rubizh destroyed more than 860 enemy aerial targets in the past month alone. Overall, the Azov Corps, within its area of responsibility, and the Rubizh Brigade is part of the 1st Azov Corps in the Pokrovsk direction, destroyed more than 5,000 aerial targets in July. That is, it's an enormous amount of work. Extremely hard work 24/7. If it were possible to use more hours, we would work 26 or even 28 hours a day. Well, we try to inflict as much damage as possible, even if it's just within 24 hours. The enemy does not give up their attempts and continues to assault our positions every day. However, we are holding on, we are defending, thanks in part to you, your donations and your support. So we keep trying, we keep holding on. And the more occupiers we eliminate today, the fewer we'll have to deal with tomorrow. And that's pretty much how we've been working for over a year now.
So I have to report that 40,000 hryvnias have been added to the account for this fundraiser. This is a collective responsibility and a collective effort from our audience. I hope there will be more going forward. I hope it will increase. But as of now, that's the situation. Regarding enemy drones in the Pokrovsk direction, how active are they and how far do they reach beyond the front lines?
Well, at present, the line of contact and the area extending from it, both towards us and towards the enemy, since technology works both ways, definitely stretches more than 15 kilometers, and sometimes it can reach over 20 kilometers. It depends on the means being used. On our side, we are already actively using Hornet drones, which fly deep into the enemy's rear and destroy their logistics there. These include fuel and lubricants, fuel trucks, ammunition depots, and pilot takeoff points. But the enemy, on their side, is also very actively using various types of UAVs, and they fly in with both Molnias and Lancets, penetrating very deep into our positions, 20 or even 30 kilometers in. They especially use Lancets, strike UAVs to patrol our logistics routes, trying to inflict damage on our logistics. However, anti-aircraft interceptors are working against them. And as I already mentioned, there is a lot of work to be done. Every day, the number of targets reaches dozens, and there is a tremendous amount of work. However, even some curious incidents happen. Just yesterday, Presidential advisor Serhiy Bezkresnov, known by the call sign Flash, posted a photo on his Facebook of the unmanned aerial vehicle Prince Oleg the Prophet. We shot it down, and there was an inscription on the wings addressed to him from the enemy's side, well, with an unkind word that probably reflects their respect for his skills and qualities in the field of unmanned aerial vehicles. That's why there are these kinds of funny photos where the enemy tries to send us some kind of message, knowing that their drone will be detected by our interceptor and almost inevitably destroyed. So we do our best, we keep working.
Well, you see, that's recognition. I believe that story you just mentioned and these inscriptions, the code names, listen, that the Russians put on such drones. Meanwhile, plus 45,000 hryvnias are in the account, and the fundraising continues. Regarding fiber optics, by the way, I mean in the context of what's happening in Russia, these strikes on logistics, on wild berries. We won't get into that topic right now. That's a different story. But do you see any problems with equipment, with components for Russian drones and with fiber optics?
It is quite possible that because our specific tactical direction is considered one of the enemy's top priorities, we haven't observed any significant problems at all with their drones using fiber optics in this sector. There are a lot of them, both in areas where active combat is taking place and where our logistics are heavily used. There are a lot of so-called waiting drones. These drones are mostly the ones using fiber optics, which fly into our territory and then land somewhere, waiting for our armored vehicle or logistics vehicle to pass by, or even for some foot patrols to go through. And then if they spot them, they take off and attack. That's why our fire teams spend a lot of time and effort detecting these waiters and destroying them as well. I can say that in reality, their number is enormous, and the number of waiters destroyed daily just in our sector also exceeds several dozen. So in our sector, the enemy hasn't encountered any problems with fiber optics so far. Maybe there will be some in the future, but for now, there are a lot of them, and they significantly hinder our movements and logistical operations.
Thank you.